All right, this is part 2 of the video, which I had to cut due to the background noise and the fact that the other one was over 8 minutes long. So I will have to export this and put this on YouTube like I have done to the others. But this is the MPH property 15512, Garfield, Arkansas 72732. It was listed for a while, but due to its pretty excellent location on the highway, we can see it might be a ideal spot for an office or just even a rental location. And most of it has been cleared out, but we put some feedback in there because right now we're living here while we undergo the renovations. See, that's something that has to be worked on underneath there. Ideally, we're going to try and fix the flooring. As you can see, it's pretty rough, but there is real wood floors under here, and I keep telling everybody that if the wood floor is perfectly fine underneath all this tile, and I don't know if you can tell, I painted over that layer last year. If the wood floor is still healthy, it is necessary kind of to get this tile out of here so that the wood can breathe. And what I mean by that is that the wood will rot after so many years. I mean, it doesn't happen immediately, obviously, but if we're trying to preserve properties and flip them and make them in a condition that are habitable for 100 years to come, to house maybe 3 generations of families, which is how I feel every real estate agent should operate. They don't, but we do. We need to be thinking about long-term longevity of the house. And this is the wood floor. As you can tell, it's really nice. I did paint it white due to the spider issues. The house is very, very steady. It's very durable, so it will last a significant amount of time if we can preserve it in the right way. However, typical issues you'll experience with older houses might be wood rot, it could be mold, it could be, I mean, any number of issues, but we've been blessed here. I mean, just absolutely so lucky. This room's pretty full right now. I just moved a bunch of stuff in here on top of Sam's stuff, which actually does need to go to the shed eventually, which we have to work on as well. So a lot of this stuff actually is probably going to end up outside once we get the concrete floor in the shed paved. So this is the closet. I put a bunch of stuff in here just now, mostly deer antlers from Sam. And in case anybody is wondering, if you ask me, I took several years of accounting courses, and I am currently trying to maintain a real estate license, waiting for my father to finish his broker's license. So one of the things and reasons I had to move in is because this property, people really like this property. They like to come over here and party, and that is when a party gets out of hand, and that is when I show up because I'm the one that does the damage control. Sam also does a lot of work here as well, but I'm the one that's going to keep it pretty, which might not matter unless you're a mother, but if I imagine raising children in a rental property, I imagine not having holes in the walls would be important, and even the bathtub. I'm not sure if we're going to just replace the bathtub. I kind of have a feeling we can lay a mesh layer, kind of like a duct tape, but plaster over the mesh. And I would like to paint this room a light blue color, because the tile, I believe the tile is original to when my dad bought this house, and if you can tell, it's a little blue flower, and I think it's cute, honestly, and I think it's nice to preserve certain elements of the house as long as the wall underneath it stays healthy, which it is for the most part. but the walls do need a little bit of touching up. And I think a nice little blue color would go really well in this room. So yes, this is the bathroom. And again, this property is the Garfield, Arkansas property. We call it the MPH at SGR, which stands for Salmonson Group Realtors and the Military Park House. Right now, the toilet is malfunctioning. We will have to replace this. That is the bucket we are using to fill up the top of the toilet. And we have to replace that. So just for IRS and taxation purposes, just so you know, that is what is happening at this property right now. And 2 people are living here, with the third one being used as pretty much a storage until we can get the shed fixed. Now, don't judge this room. I swear that basket has clean clothing in it. And I use scented bags for my laundry because then I can reuse them as a trash bag. And I think it's nicer than a Walmart bag, which I always reuse as trash bags. But I know some people throw them away, but I just think it's nice to conserve. So this is the room I have been staying in for the past week. I actually came here on Sunday, and one of the beautiful things that I love about this house, and I know it sounds silly, but I just love it because it's so functional. I'm all about functionality, is the fact that the doors are magnetic. You can use it as dual purpose. How about that? So I just really love that feature, and magnets are so cheap. In fact, they're very affordable, and families who have multiple children, I can just tell it will be so handy. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'll turn on the light in here. If it turns on, okay, and so now, what do you know, I think? Okay, there it is. All the light bulbs but one are out in here, so I will have to replace a couple. It's on the list. So one of the things I love to do in all properties I have part in is, and I know it might be silly, hooks. Hooks are so handy. Along with magnets, it is just one of the most handy features. It's such a small improvement. You can buy 2 hooks at Dollar General for like $1. And then the wall anchors are pretty cheap as well. You can't, for some reason, you cannot buy those at Dollar General. But you can buy the hooks there. But the hooks, these hooks, I think, these particular white hooks came from Walmart. And you might be wondering why there's various spackle spots on the wall. So at one point 2 years ago, this room had clothes hanging all over it like a retail clothing shop. Well, then the sale ended. It was a yard sale, actually. It was like an open house yard sale for the community to just kind of come in and check out the house, and also a way to kind of clear out the clutter. I don't know if you know this. If you're not in real estate, you probably don't, but oftentimes when you're renting, see that trim right there? I painted the white, and then the darker color is actually a previous paint job, which I'm trying to go over. I just love doing white as a base coat because you can pretty much paint over it any color. I mean, I think it looks beautiful white, but I mean, anybody is gonna have their own taste. So it's just whatever you want to design, really. The lamp shades have mostly, for the most part, been taken down because these, like I said, the previous renters were not very concerned about treating spiders, and I am, because when you're living in, see how rough that looks? Hopefully, maybe we'll replace that. I've seen some really, really cool chandeliers made of antlers. You can see these are very, very valuable. Taxonomy is going to be so valuable when all the animals start, I mean, if we preserve them, that's great, but I'm the kind of person who's a little cynical. So if all the animals start dying out, then of course the hunting is going to have to cease, or they will just simply go extinct. And on that day, taxonomy deer heads are going to be very valuable, including even the deer antlers. So I think it would be sweet to make certain light fixtures out of the deer antlers, considering we have a lot laying around. See that? We had to take that off. Right now we're just kind of saving them in here, but you know, we might go ahead and take them to Habitat for Humanity if we go through with this, because like, see how this is actually missing a pane. So I mean, it's just, I don't know where it's going. This is why I'm doing a video update, because it really is so handy when you're doing properties, you're fixing them, you're clearing them out, you're taking 15 bags to Goodwill because the renters took all their stuff or didn't, and you have already got 10 boxes packed up for them. So then you're like, all right, do you want the rest of this stuff? And they're all no. So then that's when I take it to Goodwill. And if I'm really nice and it's comforters and stuff, I'll put it in a space bag and wash it first. But it does get expensive, so I can't do it very often. And that's why I am so concerned about preserving the state of this property, because I have put in so many hours and so much effort in trying to make this property work. This is the sink. This is what I mean actually by it was a futile attempt, because this is actually the reason we replaced it to begin with. And then now it's just back to the same state pretty much. However, all the spray and nozzles and everything, all that, the sink fixtures, this has all just been replaced in the past 2 years. In fact, and I know this sounds terrible, and I'm only going to put this in the video for kicks and giggles, but the box is still sitting back here, and it's got my name on it, literally. So I got to burn that in the burn pile. So this might be a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this update. Maybe I should close this up in the front porch and let Duke in. Duke's Sam's dog. We had to get a dog out here. I prefer cats because cats keep down the snake population and the mice and the rats. And dogs do help with varmints, but see, there's Duke. He's just chilling with his little stick. He's like, hey guys. Oh! So Duke is the new addition. Because there are other dogs out here and there's no animal control. So I have to hope Duke will at least offer some protection. Before Sam moved out here, there was no protection whatsoever. I don't own a single gun. And I was at the mercy of God to protect me. And I'll tell you, when you're witnessing a possum hissing at you, see, like, there's all this trash I gotta pick up around the perimeter of the property. And it's gonna look really good. I mean, it's gonna be a ton of work, but see how the fencing is ideal for blackberries or any other kind of vine-like plant. I don't know. I wish I took botany, but I didn't, so I couldn't actually say much more than a blackberry, maybe raspberries. But yeah, I mean, this has come a long way, and they even have certain fruit trees out here. This tree is new. It's a pear tree. And honestly, my battery's dying, so I might have to wrap this up and continue this again in a third video, because it is hard to encompass everything in a property that goes into it with simply just looking at receipts. It's just not enough, really. When you're an accountant and you're in property management and flipping properties, it really is so handy to just have a little video. I mean, this video, and this one video alone, is worth hours and hours of accounting, really. It really is. All right. See you soon.